Hey everyone, it's Michelle, the Dreaming Dilettante, and welcome to the Dilettante's Bookshelf. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my summer reading pile of possibilities, and this is my bookshelf edition. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Michelle. I'm also known as the Dreaming Dilettante, and on this channel, I talk all about my love for reading. I like to read historical fiction, fiction in general, contemporary fiction, pretty much everything. I read fantasy, so all kinds of different books. If that's something that interests you, please do consider subscribing and staying around. We would love to have you join our lovely community here on BookTube. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my pile of possibilities for the summer. Now I'm going to start my summer reading, the official start of summer, which I think is June 20th, maybe. So I'm hoping to finish the book I'm currently working on, and I think I have a few going at the moment. So I'm hoping to finish those before the official start of summer. And then I'm going to go to the official end of summer or start of fall, or probably the day before fall, as kind of my guideline. I'm a little behind my reading goal. I'm hoping to kind of make up a little bit of that in the summer, sitting outside, watching the kids in the pool, just relaxing a little bit and getting a lot of reading done. So I'm calling this my bookshelf edition because everything that is in this pile of possibility is pulled from my own bookshelf. So these are books that have been on my TBR. Some of them I've purchased recently within the last 2 or 3 months, and some are a little bit older, but most of them have been purchased within the last year. That doesn't mean they're new releases. It just means that they've become new to me in the last year. I'm also going to be sharing a Kindle edition of my summer reading pile of possibilities, and I'm also going to be sharing a library edition because I have a stack of library books at home, and I decided that I wanted to do different categories. And then I have a couple of Kindle books that I've already downloaded, so I'll do a Kindle edition as well. So stay tuned for those. All right, and this is going to be in no particular order. So this is my stack of books. And again, in no particular order. I'm going to need to get the readers for this. Okay, the first one is Ravenfall. Strange Things Always Find Their Way In, and it's in is spelled with 2 N's. This is ages 10 and up. So this says 13-year-old Anna Balankay has never been normal. Her family uses their psychic abilities to help run the Ravenfall Inn, a magical B&B between the human world and the other world. I mean, doesn't that sound, I love magical worlds and different realms. But it's hard to contribute when your only power is foreseeing death. So when 14-year-old Colin Pierce arrives at Ravenfall, searching for his missing older brother, Anna jumps at the chance to help. But the mysteries tied to Colin go much deeper than either of them can expect. Now a supernatural creature straight out of the Celtic mythology, one with eerie connections to Colin's family, is coming after them. If Anna and Colin can't stop the creature by Halloween night, it could spell destruction for Ravenfall and the world as they know it. So this would probably be a great fall read. Yeah, it's only 246 pages, so this should be something that I should be able to get through pretty quickly. And yeah, next up we have the first book in the Enola Holmes series. I have watched the movies on Netflix. I didn't realize it was also a book, so I'm excited to read these. Again, this is another children's book. This says ages 8 to 12. When Enola Holmes, sister to the Detective Sherlock Holmes, discovers her mother has disappeared, she quickly sets off to find her in London. But nothing can prepare her for what awaits. When she arrives, she finds herself involved in the kidnapping of a young Marquess, and must flee murderous villains and elude her shrewd older brothers, all while trying to piece together clues to her mother's disappearance. Amid all the chaos, can Enola find the Marquess and her mother? So next up is another children's book. This is The Lost Library. I'm pretty sure I got this at Barnes & Noble. In fact, so far all of these have been purchased at Barnes & Noble. When a mysterious little free library, which I loved because I have a little free library, guarded by a large orange cat, appears overnight in the small town of Martinville, 11-year-old Evan plucks 2 weathered books from its shelves, never suspecting that his life is about to change. Evan and his best friend, Raffi, quickly discover a link between one of the old books and a long-ago event that none of the grown-ups want to talk about. The 2 boys start asking questions whose answers will transform not only their own futures, but the town itself. Told in turn by a ghost librarian named Al, an aging but beautiful cat named Mortimer, and Evan himself, The Lost Library is a timeless story from award-winning authors Rebecca Steed and Wendy Mass. It's about owning your truth, choosing the life you want, and the power of a good book. And of course, the librarian who gave it to you. So this just sounded so good, and I'm really excited to delve into that one. Next up, and this is one I've had for a while, it is the #1 Ladies Detective Agency, and this is book 1 in the series. This is the first novel in Alexander McCall Smith's widely acclaimed The #1 Ladies Detective Agency series. It tells the story of the delightfully cunning and enormously engaging Precious Ramatsui, who is drawn to her profession to help people with the problems in their lives. Immediately upon setting up shop in a small storefront in Gaborone, she is hired to track down a missing husband, uncover a con man, and follow a wayward daughter. But the case that tugs at her heart and lands her in danger is that of a missing 11-year-old boy who may have been snatched by witch doctors. So I thought this sounded really good, and I share on here, I love a good series, so if this is something that works, then I'm excited to have more to read. This one is called Hounded, and this is the book 1 of the Iron Druid Chronicles. Again, another series. It says it's a hilarious, action-packed tale of 2,000-year-old druid pursued by an ancient gods in the modern world. Atticus O'Sullivan is the last of the ancient druids. He has been on the run for more than 2,000 years, and he's tired of it. The Irish gods who want to kill him are after an enchanted sword he stole in a first-century battle. And when they find him managing an occult bookshop in Tempe, Arizona, Atticus doesn't want to uproot his life again. He just wants everything to end one way or another, but preferably the way in which he can continue to enjoy fish and chips. He doesn't have small hope of survival. The Morrigan, the Irish chooser of the slain, is on his side, and so is Brigid, first among the Fae. His lawyer is literally a blood-sucking vampire, and he has a loyal Irish wolfhound with opinions about poodles. But he's facing down some mighty enemies. Angus Og, a vengeful Irish god, plus a coven of witches, and even the local police. On top of all that, Angus has a direct line to the firepower of hell. Atticus will need all the luck of the Irish and more if he's going to stay alive. But I'm pretty sure this is the second one. I purchased this one on Thrift Books. I've read the first book in this series and I really, really enjoyed it. It is the Victorian Book Club Mysteries series. And this one is called The Sign of Death. These are by Callie Hutton. I'm sorry, I haven't been saying the author's names in these, but I'll put all that in the description. I have a accompanying blog post that I always put with my reading, so you can go ahead and check those out. Bath, England, 1891. Mr. James Harding was a lot of things. Businessman, well-to-do, probable scoundrel, but a drinker he most assuredly was not. So when Harding is believed to have drunkenly fallen to his death into the icy River Avon, Lord William Wethington is immediately suspicious. Finding Lord William's name on a letter in the victim's pocket, a constabulary summons William to identify the victim. Police detectives learn that William had been one of Harding's business clients, and undoubtedly not the only client the dead man had cheated. William entreats Lady Amy Lovell, a fellow member of the Mystery Book Club of Bath, to help him deduce what really happened to the late Mr. Harding. So there's more in the summary here, but apparently I have forgotten how to read. I'm stumbling over all these words, so hopefully you're still enjoying this. But this is a great series. I really enjoyed the first book, and that, as I said, I believe is the second one. And then the third one in this series that I also got from Thrift Books is The Mystery of Albert E. Finch. And this one says, Bath, England, 1892. Celebrated mystery author Lady Amy Lovell is set to tie the knot with Lord William Wethington, a fellow member of the Mystery Book Club of Bath. Amy's great aunt, Lady Priscilla Granville, has offered to host their wedding at her stately Derby Manor house. But on the eve of the ceremony, the festive air in the drawing room is marred by Mrs. Alice Finch's argument with her husband, Albert, in another room. The next morning at the wedding breakfast, Alice falls face first into her breakfast, dead. So this is another, I just love these kinds of books. I really do. I think I could just read those types of whodunit all the time. As a kid, I used to watch Murder, She Wrote. Did anybody else watch that show? And I loved it. So I think these types of books are kind of reminiscent of that. I also watched Diagnosis Murder. I love to watch Father Dowling. Like, there's just all these kinds of, yeah. So I love this kind of stuff. So this is Hotel Magnifique, and this is by Emily J. Taylor. And it was a monthly pick for Barnes & Noble. It says, all her life, Janie has dreamed of elsewhere. Just barely scraping by with her job as a tannery, she's resigned to a dreary life in the port town of Dur, caring for her younger sister Zosa. That is, until the Hotel Magnifique comes to town. The hotel is legendary, not only for its whimsical enchantments, but also for its ability to travel, appearing in a different destination every morning. While Janie and Joseph can't afford the exorbitant costs of a guest stay, they can interview to join the staff, and are soon whisked away on the greatest adventure of their lives. But once inside, Janie quickly discovers their contracts are unbreakable, and that beneath the marvelous glamour, the hotel is hiding dangerous secrets. So yeah, it sounds interesting. It looks like there's a bit of a romance twist that comes into here as well. So this looks like another great summer read. Next up is A Short Walk Through a Wide World. This is by Douglas Westerbeek. And I don't remember why I picked this one, to be honest, or how this one came up on my... I do walk through the bookstores and just grab stuff because I like the title or the cover, so it could have just been that. This is Paris, 1885. Aubrey Torval, a spoiled and stubborn 9-year-old girl, comes across a wooden puzzle ball on her walk home from school. She tosses it over a fence only to find it in her backpack that evening. Days later, at the family dinner table, she starts to bleed to death. When medical treatment only makes her worse, she flees to the outskirts of the city where she realizes that it is the very act of movement that keeps her alive. So begins her lifelong journey around the world, constantly on the run from her disease, which won't allow her to stay anywhere more than a few days. From the scorched dunes of the Kalasio Sand Sea to the snow-packed peaks of the Himalayas, from a bottomless well in a Parisian courtyard to the shelves of a spectacular underground library, we follow Aubrey as she learns to survive on her own. Along the way, she will encounter friends, enemies, and lovers, strange beasts, wild landscapes, opulent castles, and grand inventions. But the longer she wanders and the more of her unlikely existence she dares to share with others, the clearer it becomes that the world she travels through is not quite the same as everyone else's. So this looks like a really, interesting read. So I'm really excited about all of these for the summer. I don't know, again, how many of these I will realistically get to, but I am excited to start delving in. The next up, and this is actually a fun story. I was at the Barnes & Noble with a friend, and as I was walking around, there was a group of people talking with one of the employees, and they were saying how they were talking about these books, and you could just tell how much they loved a series, and they were so engaged in the characters, and they were talking about it. And the employee saw me standing looking at some of the fiction that they have. The employee saw me looking at at some books there and greeted me. We started talking, and it became clear about how much this employee loved this book and sharing about it. And so I ended up picking it up and said, I will give it a read and come back and we can talk about it further. So I'm super excited. Throne of Glass. Now, if you're not familiar with it, again, this is apparently a very well-known series. And I'm seeing now, I did start, I only got 18 pages in. But it says, in a land without magic, an assassin is summoned to the castle. She has no love for the vicious king who rules from his throne of glass. But she has not come to kill him. She has come to win her freedom. If she defeats 23 murderers, thieves, and warriors in a competition, she will be released from prison to serve as the king's champion. Her name is Selena Sardothian. The crown prince will provoke her, the captain of the guard will protect her, and a princess from a faraway country will befriend her. But something rotten dwells in the castle, and it's there to kill. When her competitors start dying mysteriously one by one, Selena's fight for freedom becomes a fight for survival and a desperate quest to root out the evil before it destroys the world. So it's supposed to be an amazing series. I forget how many are there. I mean, it looks like 2, 4, 6. There's 8. And I think the reason this was coming kind of back out is I think a book just released in the series. Like there was just a recent addition to it, I think. So yes, if this is something you'd like. And then I think they just get heftier as it goes on. So this is my summer bookshelf pile of possibilities. I would love to hear if you've read any of these books, if you own any of these books, if you want to read them together. That would be a lot of fun. I've thought about doing like a readathon. So I was thinking about doing a reading vlog. I have watched a few here on BookTube. I'm not really sure what I would do to film something like that. Yeah, so it might be fun to do something. If you have any ideas or if you'd like to see something like that, let me know and I'll see what I can come up with, because I think that might be fun, especially in the summer. You can maybe do some really nice outdoor reading times, or I have a hammock, although that would be hard to read and I'd probably just fall asleep. But yeah, we could do some fun things like that. So if it's something you're interested in, then please do let me know. I would love to hear what you're planning on reading for this summer, and I'll be recording and probably uploading next week my library edition, because I have to go through and make sure I have enough time left to get through some of these books, because I got some hefty ones on my library shelf at home. And then I'll do the Kindle version, which should be a lot of fun. So that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Take care. Bye.